Hey everyone, Chad here. In this video, I'm going to show you how to self-publish your ebook on Amazon, Kindle Direct Publishing, or KDP. I did have a look on YouTube to see what was available. I noticed videos that were a couple of years old to a few years old, and a lot has changed in the KDP environment and on the dashboard. So there's a lot more nuances you need to take a look at, which I'll address. Secondly, this isn't going to be a generic how-to video because you can input information into the text fields, so can I, so can anybody. So I want to share some insights with you and some things I think about when I'm setting up my ebook. For example, I came out with a book last May, so about 10 months ago, about passive income. It's still attracting bestseller status. It's trending in terms of Amazon rank around 15,000 to 20,000. So I'm selling a few copies every day. I was able to get it to as low as 4,000, which I was very happy with. And I continue to see success there. So I want to share my insights and other ideas that I have when I'm setting up my ebooks with you. Lastly, I believe Amazon is the only platform authors need to play on. I know there's other platforms out there such as Nook or Barnes & Noble and even Google Books, etc. But what I've seen and what I've experienced is that Amazon is just so dominant in the online book retail space. I think a lot of customers default when they're making their purchase decisions to go to Amazon and buy books. I know I've observed other authors who stick exclusively with Amazon. So I would say, even if you're thinking about exploring the other platforms, start with Amazon, go from there, see how you feel, and then if you want to explore, then go ahead. As I mentioned, a lot has changed within the KDP environment. There is now a fresher look, a cleaner look, and there's new features and items. Probably the biggest change is that we can now publish our paperbacks within the same dashboard, within the same environment. Before, we used to, as authors, have to go over to Create Space, which is another Amazon division, and create our paperbacks there. Once our paperback and ebooks were published, then we would link the two. But you can now publish your paperback directly from KDP. Amazon has taken great strides to improve the author and user experience. They've added quick links here so you can get more information and help, a couple of filters so that you can easily find your books. The search bar is more noticeable. And over here, they've broken out important or critical sections of your setup page so that you can quickly go to these sections and review the details or update them. And once again, over here, you can easily click on this to create your paperback. I want you to keep in mind that as I go through this, I'm a nonfiction author, so a lot of my ideas are going to be coming from that well, but my ideas are just as applicable to fiction authors if that's your focus. Starting from the top, language is pretty straightforward. It just says here to choose your ebook's primary language, and you do so from clicking on the drop-down menu and selecting accordingly. Showing up on the first page of Amazon results is just as important as showing up on the first page of Google results or Bing results. Keep in mind that Amazon is essentially a retail search engine. So folks go there, they're looking for products to buy, or they're looking for something that they're interested in. And so search relevance is important. And so when you're thinking about SEO techniques, there are really two areas within the setup that you can influence, which is book title, and there's also a keyword section that we're going to take a look at soon. Nowadays, I refrain from being overly creative with my titles. I just try to call a spade because I'm keeping search in mind. So the book title is passive income. I'm a little more descriptive here, and then I've added some keywords here. The result is that if someone's searching for passive income streams, I am on the first page. You can see bestseller status here, which is great. And so I'm relevant to the search query. It's a little tougher to get on just passive income because there's just a plethora of books on passive income and some mainstays there. But the goal is to be relevant somewhere, and in this case, I am. The series section I find is more applicable to fiction authors, and the idea here is to input the series name and volume number, which will help customers to find books within that series. If you have multiple editions, you can input the number here. It's easy to add yourself as an author, and I've already done so, and you can add multiple contributors by clicking on this drop-down menu and selecting accordingly. Here, if you wanted to add another one, you just click Add Another, and you can also remove this text field. Your description section is very important, as you're well aware. I just try to think about it logically. I also take a look at other authors who are doing well and just try to get a sense of what the best practices are. One critical component that I focus on a lot is using HTML tags. So these tags here, such as H2, bold, italics, really help my description pop. So we can take a look at how this translates to my description here. So you can see that the H2, my header is bolded and it's a larger font. Here are some of the bold tags and italics here. So think about those HTML tags. You can find them by looking within KDP help, which tags you can use, which ones you can't, but I do think they're helpful in making your description stand out. The other thing I think about is applying the ADA formula, which is an old school advertising formula, which stands for attention, interest, desire, and action. I create attention by using the H2 HTML tags, like I said, and I also give a lot of thought to the first line in my description. So passive income opportunities have exploded and there is money to be made. That would certainly get my attention. There's no wrong or right, and I create interest by asking questions. I provide a synopsis here. I get into the desire piece with what's inside, and my call to action, or the action piece, is right here. So generate income around the clock, scroll to the top and click buy now. So I'm directing the visitor to my page or my description to take action. Just go to the top and click on buy now. Publishing rights is pretty straightforward. I wrote my book, I own my book, there's no other parties involved. So I own the copyright and I hold the necessary publishing rights. Keywords is the other area or section that is very important to SEO along with book title. So I've taken out the other keywords that I had here because I want to focus on this one. So I know Tim Ferriss came out with a book in December. I wanted to ride his coattails. So this is kind of a ride the person's coattails strategy. So with Tools of the Titans here by Tim Ferriss, if we head over here and we search for Tools of Titans, let's say Kindle, there's his book, of course. And if you scroll down, there I am. So one of the ideas that I focus on when I'm coming up with keywords is who is the author that I can sort of, again, ride coattails with, or the book. And I don't want to just ride coattails for the sake of doing so. My book is about passive income. Tim Ferriss's brand is very much about online entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship, income, and different ways of making money. And so it relates. So you do want to think about your keywords that you're picking, of course, and that you're trying to relate to another successful author or another successful brand, and try to get on the same page as them. My category strategy is to pick a category that I should definitely be in, and then to pick another category that is less competitive so that I can try to attract the bestseller status or label. That label is very visually appealing, people buy into it, so you do want to give some thought to your category selection and strategy. The age and grade range options here are really helpful if you're trying to target a segment of the market. So these are some target marketing features. Here you can see my book is published, but the options here were to publish immediately or to pre-sell. We're on the second tab, and starting with digital rights management, or DRM, this impacts how your book is distributed and shared. I've chosen no. You can read more about it here. Authors have varying opinions on it, so it's really your call. You have various file options here in creating your manuscript. Just know what they are before you start to write. I typically stick with Microsoft Word because it's easy and I get it. I can see here a notification about spell check, so there's one error. I've already looked at it and it's fine. Covers are more art than science, so they tend to be very subjective. So who knows what the perfect formula is? I certainly don't. I designed this cover myself. You have other options to go over to Fiverr or Upwork, or try to secure a freelancer from somewhere. What I don't recommend that you do is go over to CreateSpace and purchase their design cover services. I think it costs somewhere around $350. There's no reason to spend that much money on a cover. Again, try to secure an affordable freelancer, or if you have design skills, go at it yourself. I also don't recommend the Launch Cover Creator to get a generic cover that looks terrible. I can tell right away who's done this. This is going to hurt your sales big time. If you want to get a sense of how your book is going to appear, you have that option with the Launch Previewer. I don't use it. What I highly recommend that you do is after you publish your book and you get notification that it is in the marketplace, go ahead and buy it. You want to be the first person to buy it. Go through it yourself, and that's the best way to do a quality check. I never input an international standard book number or ISBN. If it's applicable to your situation, then by all means. For publisher, this is optional. I've put some keywords there to try to optimize search. We're on the final tab, and the first item you're going to deal with is Kdp Select. So here, if you want to enroll and be a part of Amazon's special programs such as Kindle Unlimited or the lending library, then you would enroll. I'm happy to be exclusively on Amazon. If you're okay with that, then you should try it out. There's a 90-day period where you have to stay enrolled, and you can always opt out. If you do want to explore other platforms, then you don't want to enroll in Kdp Select. The territory section is pretty self-explanatory. If you're a self-published author like me, you don't need to give a lot of thought to it. If there's other parties involved, then you do want to understand the implications of the territories that you choose, and then choose accordingly. The royalty and pricing section used to be a dog's breakfast. They've cleaned it up a lot. It's a lot easier to navigate. It looks nicer. Unfortunately, as a self-published author, we're still confined to selling our books from 99 cents to $9.99, but that's what we have to work with. The one thing I will say is it's important that you think about your pricing strategy, because pricing and selling books is based on supply and demand. I usually take the $2.99 approach. I know a lot of authors do that because we're thinking about the 70% share here or revenue share versus the 35, which is at $1.99 and less. So the lowest we can go is $2.99. That's my approach. If I did see a lot of demand at $2.99, I may consider increasing it at some point. But like I said, I think the overarching view is that you should have a strategy and just be okay with and open to trying different things. I didn't create a paperback for passive income, but I think Matchbook is a great option because you allow customers who purchase your print book to get your ebook at a lower price or even for free. Book lending is another good option here. You can see I've checked it off. I just want to get my name out there. I'm okay with people sharing my book around. It's no big deal. So I do like this option, and it helps with, again, folks learning about me and growing my brand. And then you can just read over the terms and conditions. If you're familiar with the platform, you don't need to read over it every time. And then once you're done with that, you just click publish your Kindle ebook, and it's off for processing. Amazon has made a lot of improvements to KDP over the years, which I think is fantastic and encouraging. It really benefits authors to make the process easy because we'll just want to self-publish that many more books. Two key ideas that you should take away from this video are search engine optimization, because you want to try to get on the first page of search results. And secondly, how can you optimize or take advantage of any of those sections in the setup process to try to beat out your competitors? The setup process is vital in succeeding with your book, along with topic selection, cover design, content quality, and all those other important factors, so do keep them in mind. Best of luck with your publishing efforts, and I'll see you in my other videos. Bye for now.